Here's my review of the Moza R3 steering wheel and pedals along with the shifter. In order for this to be an honest review, we have to do a little bit of de-influencing. Just sounds gross. You do not need 15 Newton meters of torque to have fun. You don't need ultra realistic pedals to have fun. Your shifter can be made of plastic or metal. It doesn't matter that much. And it's okay if your wheelbase doesn't have the capability to rip the steering wheel out of your hands. Now that we got that out of the way, this is comparing the Moza R3 to my old steering wheel. I had a Thrustmaster TMX that only had 2 pedals and was not direct drive. And so it's a little bit unfair of a comparison in that regard because I have 3 pedals now, a shifter, and direct drive. But that's all I have to compare to. This is a review on how fun the system is as a whole. The comparison doesn't need to be perfect. This setup is so fun that I had all 3 of my kids sitting on the couch watching me play, and I had 2 of them sitting on the couch watching their brother play. Nowadays, it's kind of hard to capture people's interests for long periods of time. And when capturing someone's interest involves work, physical movement, it gets exponentially harder. Now let's talk about a little bit of the actual performance of the steering wheel itself. I was in BMG the other day, and I was driving this little hot hatch thing, delivering packages on the career mode in BMG. And I had gotten into a fender bender. I was going way too fast, popped the driver's side front tire and bent the rim. While driving that, I could feel the rim hitting the road, and I could feel the steering wheel jerk from that, and it felt like I had a bent rim. Another time I was racing up Pikes Peak in BMG, and I was driving some like BMW clone car, really high performance, really amazing. And while I was driving, I could feel when I let off the gas, the steering wheel got extremely light. And I started to oversteer, and I went off the side of the mountain. But the thing is I could feel that I had lift-off oversteer. And that was incredibly cool. As far as fidelity goes with the Moza R3, man, it's top tier. I'm comparing this to a Thrustmaster TMX. And this is on a completely nother level. This is awesome. When it comes to actually driving with the Moza, the only thing that I want to go with this system is an extra button pad to be able to start my engine, turn on my headlights, change the amount of traction control or lock a differential. I don't actually need anything more from the steering wheel or the shifter. It all performs so damn well that I don't feel like I need anything. And I can feel, I'm driving this old pickup truck right now, and I can feel around turns, the steering wheel get heavy. I can feel when I give it a lot of gas that the steering wheel gets super light, and I can feel that the tail swings around. You can let go of the steering wheel when you're drifting, and it will self-center or right itself to the path of least resistance. As far as performance goes with the base or with the steering wheel, the pedals, the shifter, there's nothing that I want. There is different wheels that I want. I would like to have a wood wheel for aesthetics. Their trucker wheel, man, I want that. That has so many more buttons, and I think that would eliminate my want for a dedicated button pad. As for the setup overall, one thing that I would like is to have a trackball mouse instead of the Logitech MX mouse. I think that a trackball mouse and not having to move around the mouse on this little area that I have here, I think it'd be just easier to have a trackball mouse that's hard mounted in the setup. I think getting their blinker stocks and their trucker wheel would kind of fix all of my button issues that I have, which is not being able to select a locker or something if I'm in Snow Runner, Mud Runner, or BeamNG. All of these games require a lot of buttons, and that's really my only problem with the R3 setup is I don't have enough buttons. I need to have a whole ass keyboard to be able to play Snow Runner and BeamNG because these games require so many dedicated buttons on your setup. Besides the trucker wheel, I think the only additional thing that I'd like to have is a trucker shift knob. I think being able to select high and low range would be really nice. That's not a necessity, and neither is the buttons. They're also not a necessity. I already have everything I need right here. I don't need to have those. For me, the needs in this setup was the third pedal and the shifter. With a third pedal and a shifter, skill building is possible. You do not need a bunch of torque in your wheelbase, and you don't need hyper-realistic shifter and pedals to build skill in these games. You can do a whole bunch of Assetto Corsa racing and be competitive with a very rudimentary setup and cheap. So overall, what do I rate the Moza R3 base, the steering wheel that comes with it, the pedals that come with it, a third pedal, and the shifter? Comparing the shifter to a real life car, real cars have a lot more slop in them than this shifter does. And this thing, man, it is solid. I have no worries about the amount of use that this shifter will get with my 3 boys and myself, 4 people playing this every day. I'm not worried about it. This thing is so heavy duty feeling. It's metal. It's got a little nylon. When this thing takes a beating, it's gonna go into that wear piece instead of metal on metal and it wearing down that way. The shifter feels heavy enough and you forget that it's a toy easily enough. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's amazing. The only thing that I think would make it feel more realistic is if it was more sloppy. Real car shifters are sloppy. This is not, and I dock points on it for that. Otherwise, it's amazing. The pedals do all feel exactly the same. When you don't have the pedal mods that Moza sells or other ones that you can buy on like eBay and stuff like that, they feel identical. You can't tell the difference in which pedal you're pushing. If you were to just close your eyes and push on them with your hands or your feet, you wouldn't know the difference. But muscle memory is a thing, and that exists. And so knowing which pedal you're pushing is a matter of muscle memory and not being able to tell the difference in how they feel. And so when you put your feet on the pedals, they go to where they're supposed to because you're human and you have muscle memory. Honestly, when I look at a pedal set, does it feel like I can stomp on this thing and not break it? Yeah. And does it feel like a preteen can stomp on it and spam the pedal and mash on it without it breaking? Absolutely. And that's more important to me. I don't need the pedals to feel like it's connected to hydraulics, to feel like there's a cable attached to it for it to be good. And neither do most people. This is where the de-influencing comes in. You do not need it to feel hyper realistic to be competitive. Having a third pedal and a shifter already allows you to build skill in racing because you will get the feeling through the steering wheel of what you're doing wrong. More realism does not make you a better driver. Practice makes a person a better driver. As far as what I would want out of my pedals, I think I want them mounted differently. I would like them mounted upside down, and the only problem that I have with the Moza set is the center brake pedal is where these two connect, and the wires that go into it are not long enough for them to be swapped, because the input for the throttle is on this side and the input for the clutch is on that side. And if you swap where these are to be able to turn it upside down the way that a car would be mounted, that clutch cable is not long enough to reach while it's mounted here all the way around to the other side. Because of that, I mounted them this way. And I would give the pedals a 5 out of 10. They're right in the middle. They feel solid. They're amazing. I can't mount them the way that I want to because the cables are too short. Could I just make a longer cable or buy a longer cable or adapt it to work? Absolutely. I don't have any of that shit, so I mounted them this way, and that's the way that it is, and I give it a 5 out of 10. Now for the steering wheel itself. This thing has so much fidelity. It is crazy how good it feels to drive with something that you can't feel belt or gears. That adds a lot of fidelity into the wheel itself. When you're able to feel the wheel jerk over and over because you have a bent rim, that's when you have a good steering wheel. And you don't feel gears or belts in between the motor and your hand. Oh, I really like it. It's very rewarding to drive it for a car guy. For anyone else that is not into this stuff, they're not going to be able to tell, and they're not going to care either. For you and me, this is enough. This is something you can be happy with. And if you were to buy the R3, you would also be happy. I'm happy. And I give the R3 out of 10. This is another 8 out of 10. The only thing that I want different out of this setup, I want the trucker wheel. I want more buttons. For the games that I play, Snow Runner, Mud Runner, Euro Truck Simulator, BeamNG, those kind of things, I don't have nearly enough buttons on the wheel. And the truck wheel with the little blinker adapter thing, that would give me the buttons I need. I find myself remapping buttons often to the ones that I am wanting more from the ones that I thought I needed. As I play more, these are becoming more valuable and harder to assign because they're already needed for something else. So in total, that gives the Moza an average of 7 out of 10. And I think that's deserving. It is fun, it's affordable, it's got damn near everything you need and nothing that you don't. It's durable, and I think that a person could be competitive, can have fun, and could use it for a long time and not have to worry about its durability. If you're looking for a racing simulator setup, Moza's R3 with the third pedal and the shifter, go buy it. It's cheap and it's fun, and you wouldn't be looking into this if it wasn't fun. That's why you buy it. Not for hyperrealism, because it's fun.